We're glad to have you back. To strengthen economic environment in Nigeria and its position as a preferred destination for investment opportunities across the African hub, Nigeria must continue to sustain its fight against fraud and corruption, using education as a tool to improve transparency and accountability, both in private and public institutions. By deploying such initiatives, experts believe it will not only position the country as a preferred destination for investment, but help potential investors make informed decisions and further foster investors' confidence in Nigeria. Well, to discuss further on the role of education and what it plays in the fight against fraud and corruption, I'm opportune to have two ladies in the studio. Yes, Ms. Olufomelayo Ajayi is the Chief Operating Officer, Registrar, African Academy for Counter-Fraud and Anti-Corruption Studies, and likewise Ms. Oreoluwa Adegoke, who's the Head Partnership, Africa Academy for Counter-Fraud and Anti-Corruption Studies, AACAS in short. Thank you so much. It's good to have you in the studio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Toluka.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you here. And let me start on my right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I can't say ladies first now because I have two ladies here. But let me start with you. Let's talk about AACAS. Many have been looking at this. Even since yesterday, I've been getting messages. AACAS. Tell us more about AACAS. So what really do you do?
Okay, I'll just start with AACAS. It's a not-for-profit organization.
Okay.
Yes, so what we do as an institution is we're dedicated to developing highly skilled counter-fraud and anti-corruption experts in both the public and private sectors across Africa. So AACAS is actually born on the 10-year enviable legacy of Rabla Woods Counter-Fraud Learning Center. Wow. So Rabla Woods is the sole authorized trainer of the Texas-based Association of Certified Fraud Examiners.
Beautiful.
And so it's the exclusive provider of the Certified Fraud Examiners Review course here in West Africa. So the 10-year growth plan of Rabla Woods was to have an institution, the first of its kind, a higher grade learning institution that delivers anti-fraud trainings, courses, and programs. So that's a bit about AACAS.
Brilliant stuff. Let me ask, let me go this way now and start and ask you, Oreoluwa, that what really is fraud? Can you tell us what is fraud? Let me ask that way. It's so simple that way.
So to make it easy,
okay,
for people at home,
yeah.
Fraud is deception, either for financial gain for an individual or an organization. That's basically it. If you're looking to deceive people by holding back material facts that would stop them from engaging in such, that's fraud. And I'll go quickly to occupational fraud because that's what AACAS is really focused on. Good. Yes, we deal with all other frauds that have to do with individuals, but we are majorly focused on occupational fraud. According to the report to the nation that the ACFE conducted, okay, occupational fraud is actually the most costly type of fraud. And to put it into perspective, Donald Cressy, which is a criminologist, he said 3 elements must come into place for occupational fraud to occur. There needs to be some sort of pressure, opportunity, and rationalization. Pressure in the fact that, let's take the way Nigeria is now, there's a financial and economic crisis going on right now. And someone that is the head of family is literally struggling to make ends meet. Is probably taking care of his nieces, his nephew, his cousins, and so on. It's pressured one way or the other. Let's even assume he has a child that is in the UK that is studying. Suddenly, exchange rate is saying something else, and is unable to meet up to his commitment. That's pressure already. Then he sees an opportunity. Opportunity comes in when there's no strong internal control in place in an organization. He sees an opportunity. Oh, let me quickly take this 5 million naira. After all, they don't do audits now. Audits are not done till like the 3rd quarter in the year. Let me quickly take this, and then I'll return it back. So strong internal controls are supposed to be put in place. Conduct surprise audits for your employees. Don't let them see it coming. Put it in place. Then rationalization. We're talking about the strong tone at the top. My Oga does it, so why can't I do it? My line manager is doing it, I can as well do it. So our employees look up to us, so to say, in an organization. If they see you doing something that is right, they'll go ahead and do it. If they see you doing the wrong thing, they'll also do this, the same thing. So that's the 3 elements that needs to come into place for these occupational fraud to occur. Pressure, opportunity, and rationalization.
Pressure, opportunity, and rationalization. I'm taking that. I'm taking notes. Seriously, I'm taking notes. Well, let me now ask how AACAS is leading in this fight against fraud?
Okay, so at AACAS, we have a very strong mission, which is to strengthen the economic environment in Africa through global partnerships, by building global partnerships rather through our research arm, our learning arm, and our service arm.
Wow.
So our academic learning arm, basically we offer courses, programs, PGD courses on fraud risk management. We have digital forensic, we have cybersecurity, we have electronic payment
Not just for
fraud.
accountants. Sorry, I put
No,
you.
okay. Not just for
Because it
accountants.
looks like finance.
No, not just for accountants.
Great,
I mentioned
great. Tell us.
cybersecurity.
Oh, great.
So anybody who has an interest in fraud and corruption is welcome to take any of these courses. Whoever is looking to branch out into this avenue is welcome to take these courses. So you don't necessarily need to be an accountant or an auditor to take any of our courses. Then we have an introductory course, which is the Advanced Diploma in Fraud Examination. This gives information to people who have no knowledge of fraud and corruption. I want to branch out into that space. We cover so many topics under this course. And we offer also bespoke courses. We have one we're launching next year, which is called the Executive Insights in Fraud Prevention. So this particular course is actually designed for high-level executives, C-suites, directors, to basically let them know their roles in fraud prevention and let them know what you're supposed to do when this occurs, what controls need to be in place, how you're supposed to manage the people that are under you. So we have various courses, and you can also go on our website, www.acas.com, and see more about all the courses we offer. So as regards how we're leading the fight, we do this through that the academic arm, like I've said. So our research arm, we carry out thorough research. So we're telling the story of Africa from the African perspective. We don't want people to tell our story for us. There's so many people that have been telling our stories for us for a long time, and now we're here to take the bull by the horn. So we're conducting research from the African perspective. We've done one on whistleblowing culture in Africa, and we've been privileged to present this at the largest counter-fraud gathering, which is the global conference, the ACFE Global Conference, and we've presented this a few times. We also have one on ethics, ethics in organizations, and we have so many more under our belts. We wouldn't want to,
Indeed, interesting stuff. I started by asking you about to tell us what fraud is.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to leverage on that and ask my next question: that how can individuals protect themselves from falling victim of fraud?
To be honest, we get loads of these DMs. Via email, you tell people, oh, somebody stole my phone and so my money has gone. That's what we keep getting. I fell for WhatsApp scams and this is what happened. And we're just here to tell you that there's some tiny things that people fail to do. So for example, there's something called SIM lock that every telecommunication does, where you can literally lock your SIM. So let's say, for example, somebody steals your phone and then removes your SIM and tries to put it in another phone. If you have the SIM lock on, the person can't access it. That way, they can't even move your money. So that's the easiest thing you can do. Now, let's talk about password security. People are fond of using their first name and their date of birth. That's their password. You just go Instagram, put it.
You're correct. You're very correct. Many people do that.
Yes.
So don't make it. Don't make it easy for fraudsters.
Changes immediately.
Yes, don't make it easy. We tell people use uppercase, use lowercase, special characters.
Complex.
Yes, it should be complex, actually. You see people falling for WhatsApp scams, and we've been putting this out on our social media platform at the AACAS, across all platforms. It's very easy. Turn on your two-factor authentication. 2FA, take advantage of the multi-factor authentication that you have. So these are little things. For people that they just log into their email, and then you see an email, or rather a link, you just click on it. You don't know who sent it. Nothing, that's basically phishing. They've gotten everything that they need to get. So these are little things. And let's talk about older scams too. We have older people that are our parents, our grandparents. Let them know. If somebody calls you on WhatsApp, oh, I've sent you a code. Ma, please send it to me. No, you don't know who is calling. So you should educate them. While we are here, this week is actually the International Fraud Awareness Week, right? And it's a week that is dedicated to the minimization of fraud globally. And you can only do this through fraud awareness and education. That's why we are continuously talking about this. There's no better time to do awareness than now. Everything is going digital. Everything. People are getting
more
hacked.
risk.
Yeah, there are
Yes,
more risk
exactly.
associated to it. It's very great with the way things are going digital. You can easily make payments online, but there are more risk that way. So we just, try to do our
I know
best
you want to say something
educating
about the
people.
individual ways of protecting one. You want to
Yeah.
say something?
To add to what Orlua has said, I would advise that you change your passwords as often as possible.
Yeah.
Because like
These
she
are tips,
mentioned-
serious tips. Get the tips, get your notes, and jot all of this down.
Yes,
Go ahead.
she mentioned don't use easy passwords. And another thing would be if someone calls you and asks you for personal information, do not give it out. An organization that you already do business with shouldn't call you to ask for information they already have. So don't give out your PIN. Secure your PIN. Make sure that's a secret. Your debit card, your credit card information, nobody should be asking you for that over the phone. As soon as they get that, your account would be empty. There are some scams whereby somebody sends a message and says, oh, I have $100 million in, inheritance. I would like you to help me facilitate getting it from Africa. You don't know the person from anywhere, and you give out this personal
Sometimes
information.
greed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always see that it's greed.
It's
That's
definitely
a
great.
very important factor. So I think those are some tips that we can give. We have so many tips on our social media page, which is the AACAS, THEAACAS.
Let's continue. We've talked about what people can do as individuals, right? Let me start with Orolua now with this again. So now, organizations, what can they also do to make sure that fraud and corruption, at least, to add to this fight? What can they do? You talked about audits. You could just audit.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. Tell us more.
So another thing is fraud awareness training. So
think that
what
is key.
what we've come to realize is that most organizations are always focused on just people that are dealing directly with fraud, people in the fraud response team, people in internal control, but everybody actually needs to know about fraud because anybody can just be careless with companies' information. You get? So regardless of who the person is, conduct a general fraud awareness training. Just do that. There are basic things you can talk about. You can talk about phishing scams. You can talk about business email compromise. You can talk about lots of things. So what we do at AACAS is that organizations reach out to us and tell us, okay, this is what is going on in our organization. Can you tailor this to meet our needs? And we can very well do that. It's not a problem, but education is very key. Don't just say that, oh, this person doesn't directly deal with funds, so there's no need to tell this person about this. No, that's wrong on every level. Everybody should be educated. Everybody should be aware, regardless of their department, regardless of their position. Some people actually think it's just top management staff that need it. No, you don't. Go down, grassroots. Yes, that's where it comes from. So you just fraud awareness training all around is what's needed for
I think that is key. I agree with that. Fraud management training being incorporated into. But I want to ask you, what are some of the success stories of AACAS, the journey so far? I know you have a lot, but let me hear one or two.
Thank you for this question. We've had so many success stories. I wanted to mention earlier, actually, that we actually host a monthly program called the AACAS Counter Fraud Breakfast Roundtable, and we've been doing this since March this year. And we've had so many people take back information and knowledge from this 2-hour event. And we actually have one coming up in the spirit of the International Fraud Awareness Week on Saturday, a very, very special program with the topic fraud and money laundering, combating financial crimes. So it's a very, very packed event. It's an avenue for people to come learn and network with other professionals. So we've gotten people who have just come for this 2-hour training and have gone to implement things, put controls in place. The next week, we've got people who have taken our courses and they've gone on to get great jobs across borders. We've got organizations who have been able to secure themselves from fraud, who have put controls in place. We have so many things. And one of the things that we've done is we officially launched the AACAS Counter Fraud House, rather. It's at 252.
I think I attended that. I was there.
Oh, you did?
I was there
in December?
Yes, I was there.
Yes. We launched it last year in December, and we boast the largest counter fraud resource center in Africa. No organization in Africa does it like we do. Nobody understands fraud like we do in Africa. We boast the largest library, which has fraud books, corruption books, and we're open to membership. You don't need to, if you're not ready to take a course with us, you can come be a member. So you have access to these libraries. But we're welcoming you to also take courses with us. So yes,
Those
those
guys are
a
dealing
little
with
of our
fraud and money
success
laundering. We not like all of these discussions.
I'm
You
sure
want to
they
say
do.
something?
Yeah, just to
Go ahead,
add
Oluwa.
to what Fumi has said about
Yes.
our success story. In as much as we're a not-for-profit organization, we like to give back to the community. So as part of our corporate social responsibility, this year, we gave out books to a department in one prominent university in Lagos as just a way to just give back to them. Last year, we also sent some people to the Global Fraud Conference. We just, go see what it's all about, talk about it, see what people have to say about fraud and corruption, not just on the national landscape, but on the global landscape. So these are the little things that AACAS is doing. And like we said, we are here to build partnerships. It's our mission. We want to strengthen the economic environment in Africa.
Honestly.
It's very sad that people relate fraud and corruption to Africa. We are trying to correct that narrative. You just tell somebody, let's say, for example, you go to the US and you tell somebody that you're from Nigeria.
Yeah.
They say, oh, a prince from Nigeria said I should send him $1,000. It's
No,
too
it's
prevalent.
true. This is true.
Yes, it is too prevalent. When we tell people that this is what we are trying to do, we are going to read Africa of Fraud and Corruption. People just laugh and say, how do you guys want to do it? But we will do it. We will take it one organization at a time, take it one country at a time till we get to the entire West Africa. And like Fumi said, we are going to tell our stories ourselves. We don't want to be relying on, survey that somebody did in the US. We are going to conduct that survey and tell the African story from the African perspective. And that's why our name is Africa Academy for Counter Fraud and Anti-Corruption Studies.
I like that. Parting shots from you, please.
I would just like to say thank you so much for having us here. And basically, my colleague has really said so much. We're very, very big on partnerships. So this is an invitation to organizations out there. You can't do this alone. We are very big on partnerships, and we are open to you sending us proposals. We're open to working with you in order to help your organizations be rid of fraud. So thank you.
So fraud must be a thing of the past in our country.
Definitely.
I agree with that. I must thank you so much. It's really interesting having the both of you in the studio. Let me start. Olufunmilayo Ajayi, she's the Chief Operating Officer, also the Registrar at the African Academy for Counter Fraud and Anti-Corruption Studies. While on the other side, I have Oroluwa Adegoke.
Thank
right?
you so much.
She's the head of partnerships. Oh,
absolutely.
You signed the deals.
And I'm looking to
AACAS
sign more, please. We're open to partnerships.
No problem. No problem. I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for
It's
having
been a
us.
nice one talking around that. Let's take a breather. When we